of age. Looks to Alaric. Anyway, the sir is so up on the floor that he will need to be carried to his room. And now he owes the boy a lot of money for, well, being a bit of a lightweight. So Alaric drinks. Looks to Alaric's drink and says, "Oh, take it easy." Dorian smiles a little bit, though perhaps he has heard the story before a few times.
Alaric just drinks deeply.
Brenda's gives a look of, are you being serious? Just kind of like looking at Azar in a case of.
They say Lord Hayatow couldn't even believe it when you heard it, though they convinced him when they showed him something or other. That's right. He was sure that the good Titan here would never be drunken under like that by a green little Lannister boy. That he conspired against the throne. Well, Sir Ashworth always said that he would never have done that, and that it must definitely have been him being, well, not exactly those words, but the meaning that it must definitely have been Alaric who fell on the first. No, not necessarily just drinks, but, I suppose it can be really difficult to breathe sometimes. He looks to Alaric.
He looks around, looks at Ren, looks at Alaric.
Of course, it's not polite to talk about, but I don't really care.
Uh-huh.
So what I managed to actually find out was that the Lannisters were plotting against the Reach.
That's just wrong. As it turns out. Even they speak maybe a bit more than they should.
Yes.
But if they're not really knowing anything. You don't have to be careful. He just looks to Bree like this is an important lesson.
Bree looks at him and says, "I guess you would know a whole lot about not knowing anything."
Yes, that is very true. He drinks. As I prefer it that way. Less responsibility, really. What if I knew how important the person I'm fighting is? Maybe I'll be scared to hurt him. I'm still following Asher around.
For the first time ever, Bree considers, like, if I don't know how important someone is, then it's not like, I could be forgiven. Like, the Seven will understand.
This assassination.
He's teaching right now. Maybe.
It's the teaching moment.
I mean, he's given up trying to push off her horse constantly, so that's something. Apparently that turned boring after a while. She's pretty good at holding on, as it turns out.
Strong hands.
So, I suppose you would have some knowledge of him, though. We'll just have to go into the Lannister Manor and find the one that laughs as soon as he sees Alaric.
That could work, yes. Just need to get into the manor.
Or he just shakes his head a little bit and says, It's not exactly how Lord Ashford told the story, but... And just looks at him, don't be a spoil sport. It's much better this way, anyway.
For some, yeah.
Dorian gives Alaric sort of a sympathetic look. He's been on the receiving end of this too, at some point.
He knows what's going on here.
He had to win his bride in a tournament recently, allegedly. Because he couldn't get one otherwise, so, At least according to Manser.
Hear the story about the time Dorian almost got a bride.
Well. Well, we don't know too much more about Moral after this, except that he's one hell of a drinker, apparently.
Yep. Do we know any like distinguishing features about him?
Nope.
He has blonde hair, allegedly. Allegedly, is long. He is certainly not strong. At least Alec remembers he being looking kind of like a weakling. Like, being mistaken from a woman from behind like that is not really. That doesn't suggest the most masculine features. And Alaric has seen women. Like,
And this one was.
So, effeminate Lannister.
A feminine Lannister.
Who would look as if they've experienced a life full of indulgence and hedonism and chronic drug consumption.
Uh-huh.
and probably being beaten quite a bit for it. Dorian sort of adds, don't think the Lannisters are a family that tolerate that sort of behavior easily.
Well, still, I don't know. It feels like following the party trail, unless we somehow get access to the Lannister mansion, you know? But at that point, we're basically already, I don't know. I don't want to go to the mansion if we can help it, because that seems just too dangerous.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah, something like that.
Out of the frying
What is
pan
your,
into-
Kevin, what is your passive awareness?
My passive awareness?
Because it's not in your token, so. Just ask you.
It'd be your awareness is 4, right, Jonas?
Yes, it is.
So it'd be 16. And if you have any, I don't suppose you have any bonus dice on notice.
No.
Okay, then yeah, flat 16 for passive awareness notice.
All right, then. Bree will notice then out of the sort of corner of her eye while the others are particularly talking that a figure she might recognize is like talking to like the barkeep, bar owner. It's not really a bar, more like an innkeep, I suppose. Wealthy establishment owner.
Proprietor.
Yeah, that's the word. And is sort of, he's sort of doing the nodding towards where you are located.
Okay, can you describe the figure for me?
I can show you instead. That's more useful.
Okay.
I can do better.
It's him.
Well, the token doesn't tell me everything about what's outside the token.
He is he's sort of wearing a bit of a cloak, though this time seeing him, it's not as inconspicuous. It's sort of a little bit dark crimson, has a little bit of a brooch, a hood. He seems to have a face that's he's clearly wearing makeup, quite a bit of it, like she grows and a few gold things on his hands. You see a few golden rings and such. As he's here, long hair, down his back, well cleaned compared to last time, and looking a lot less frantic. He looks mostly like a fox smile, basically like looking over just in time to, that moment where you're looking at someone and then they look at you and you just have just time enough to like look away inconspicuously.
Bree don't think she saw him personally, so it's like the vague sense of like he seems like someone that, and then it's like I should not recognize anyone in this city. So it's like like the Game of Thrones equivalent of like alarm klaxons are going off in her head, and like Bree will like look away, but then like because her face is so prone to like hatred, her brows will like lower. And like a scowl will start forming on her face, and she'll like look back inconspicuously.
After talking a little bit with the proprietor, the figure will basically like give another glance, and then he will move basically out of the establishment without anyone but Bree noticing.
Okay. Bree will consider following, and then decide that she doesn't feel like volunteering for other people's problems. Like, I could probably follow him. No, I'd get lost in the city. That's a terrible idea. Instead, Bree will look over at her sir cousin. So the hard glare will shift over to fall onto Alaric.
He's had this look before. He's probably done something, he just doesn't know what.
So, sir cousin, and Bree will, in that overly honeyed innocent way, basically open into and begin describing the general characteristics of an individual matching the description of the person she just saw.
Alaric sorry, go.
Let's say that I were to see a person who was, yay high, who looked like this.
Alaric's eyes will kind of widen and say, where is he? And he's obviously trying not to look around frantically to look for him.
Right. What if I told you that he was talking with perhaps the proprietor of this establishment, looking pointedly at our table, and then walked out of it? No more than a minute ago?
Alaric nods and says, then perhaps someone that is not me should probably talk to the proprietor. And or a couple of you could go after said person.
Dorian looks a bit confused. Is someone you know?
Kevin looks around. I fairly adept at following things. Didn't see him though. I could try. He sort of gets up halfwards and sort of starts moving towards the door to try to go out there unless someone stops him.
Just, be careful. This is a city where it's easy to die, I think.
Oh.
Probably the best thing to say to Kevin.
God no.
Bree opens her Bree opens her lips as if she's gonna say something in consideration, but then ultimately doesn't care about Kevin. So it's
Well, Kevin
just looks
hesitates.
confused and what do you want me to do?
Kevin tries to go out. He looks at Ren, sort of oh, and then he sort of gathers up his courage and heads out into the city to try to follow a mysterious figure.
In honesty, I don't like the idea. Ren wouldn't like the idea of you going alone. So
Everyone come along.
Bree's thinking if Kevin could track a guy he hasn't even seen in this city.
Yeah.
If he's got a 90-second head start. Holy shit.
And so basically he looks at the table, looks at you, looks at the people leaving, says, I'm gonna go. Father. It's gonna get to any good point here. Usually comes wait up.
So very good.
Just Dorian's usually right about these things. He sort of cracks his knuckles looking around. So where are we going?
Let's see. Kevin heads out into the street, and he will set off in a light jog through the press of people, trying to find the one that was described to him.
Oh, but there's not a press of people. That's the beauty. There's
The
not
absence
them
of press of people.
Yes.
So Baron would look at Alaric and ask, do you want me to follow them or?
Don't! I'm trying to shadow someone here.
Yeah, Alaric will shake his head.
Baron is just very confused at what
You might look at the door, and then Kiva will give you a look back, be like, no.
Dorian sort of looks at the two big people, and then he moves his seat over here.
Well.
And Bree says at the table, it's well, I suppose you could talk to the individual over there, and looks over at her cousin, Alaric, and says, but who knows how deep this conspiracy goes. her eyes twinkling.
Alaric just looks at Bree and says, "Shut up."
Bree,
like, God damn it.
Bree says in like her honeyed polite voice, "Of course, my lord."
Alaric
Brian frowns
like,
slightly. He's nervous.
Alaric does like that over exaggerated like eye roll that like rolls their head as well, like, oh god damn it. I think
How did I get stuck with Bree again? Fuck!
yeah. I go out with the guys and Bree comes along, god fucking damn it.
This must be cool.
Alaric will look
Now they all leave.
Yeah. Alaric will look to Bree and say, well, in this case, perhaps your newfound skill in conversation can be used with the guy he was talking to.
Bree says, "If you think that is best, my lord, though I do have concerns. After all, we do not know how well connected this man may be. And I am very new here."
Alaric nods and says, it's better than me talking to him.
Bree lifts a brow. You are the one with status here.
Yeah, but if he's the type of person that doesn't want me to be around, then
For instances, I'll do it.
Splendid, thank you. Bree
Thanks,
smiles at
Victoria.
him.
Alaric
So shrugs.
Alaric will like
Talk to them.
position himself so that like he can watch out the corner of his eye.
Casually walks up and,
I know, probably with his lack of deception, like so fucking conspicuous. Like the man will look over at Alaric's like, "I know where you live."
Let's hope not.
outside. Who here has the best streetwise?
No. Even?
No.
Well, you're better than me.
You say that.
I have one.
Manser has been here before. He'll give you a +2, though modifier for helping. Though he didn't really pay much attention to where things were when he was here last time.
Yeah,
Pretty good perception.
I can also technically aid you granting half of my rank, which is 2, so.
Okay. Have survival. Well, okay, sure. It's knowledge streetwise, right?
I believe so.
Knowledge
Okay.
streetwise,
That's all 2 die.
with a +3 bonus.
All right. Let the good times roll.
It's happened before.
Let them make you a clown.
If only survival tracking would be.
Oh, it's a 10.
That's pretty good.
This is respectable.
You don't really manage to find an individual matching the. Well, you manage to maybe find a few individuals that I guess could be. Seems like crimson is a popular color here. For obvious reasons, maybe. But could you give me a perception check also?
Sure. Let's perceive.
He even can do the perceiving.
He does worse with that check than he did with.
Oh, yes. Basically.
Because you do see a conspicuous sort of number of guards being around right now. And more sort of coming to you, like gathering at like corners and such.
Oh.
Usually around this place.
Around the inn or around us?
Around the inn.
Fuck.
He will sort of hiss towards Ren and Mansley. The guards are surrounding the inn. We've been discovered.
Oh. Well,
I know,
that was
Man's
quick.
like, oh damn, how inconvenient. Like,
It's like, oh,
Keevan-
that is terrible.
Keevan seems
Probably
to
tell the others.
Yes, no, absolutely. He looks around. Was there a back door to this inn?
You have no idea.
Ren, we need to go around.
I'll go in and tell him.
He nods. Okay.
He begins walking casually.
While Kevin wants to go around and try to find the back door and see if there are any guards at the back door.
Right. As he sort of goes around the corner, he sort of almost bumps into a couple coming this way.
Oh.
A couple of like guardsmen.
He will try to sidestep and bow his head a little bit, mumble that he's sorry.
Guy sort of looks at him, and then
bowed.
then like pushes him out of the way. And
sure, we'll take that.
Doesn't really care about you.
Okay, so how many guards in the back?
In the back, it seems like they basically stand a few. Like you see, like 3 here on that corner, 3 on that corner. It's sort of low enough numbers that it might seem inconspicuous. Like you might not notice it unless you're like pretty good at drawing like these sorts of lines and being a little bit perceptive.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a little bit paranoid, I imagine.
Yeah.
Like you're already off kilter about it.
But
yes.
it certainly is like you're used. It seems like the kind of thing that it kind of feels like there's, like if a couple of vultures sitting on the roof, like actual ones, like waiting for carrion, right? They're sort of waiting for trouble to happen. Or maybe waiting for people to arrive.
3 to 6 in the back.
About so, yeah.
We need to go through the back.
Right now, anyway.
Let's get through the back. We could start picking them off, but that would set everything off. Unless we can do it very stealthily.
One of the guards look at you. Basically, they begun sort of talking to some people. One of them began walking towards you.
Ooh. The two of us kind of there.
Have you seen 2 fellows matching this description? Describes like Vorian and like Alric, the 2 massive motherfuckers.
He's like walking closer. His eyes sort of hard to discern what he's looking at through the helmet. He's
kind of originally not really paying, like trying not to look like he's paying much attention. And then suddenly, like I think it's close. I was like, so I like turn around and be a little bit surprised.
Just, you should clear the street.